the country has taken a turn, you know? Go ahead and go out there and protest and do whatever you want. And when someone suffers the consequences, they blame it on everybody else but them.
951, the line, who am I speaking to?
Yeah, this is Larry in Arizona.
All righty, what's happening?
Well, you know, I just called to explain an observation that I've made about these so-called protesters. And I'm referring to all of the protesters that have been out there for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years maybe that far back. I had boots on the ground during the 1960s, the late 1960s and into the 1970s, when we were protesting the Vietnam War. And the major difference between those protests and these current protests is that the Vietnam War protesters had an achievable goal. The goal was to put an end to the American involvement in the war in Vietnam. And that goal was not only achievable, but it was achieved. The war was stopped, we pulled out, and the protests were authenticated at that point. Now, I don't see that these people have an achievable goal. It's the protest of the weak, if you will. Once the fury and the noise goes down, they go to the next one. I also noticed that a lot of the people that are out there protesting are what they call baby boomers, older people, and what I see is the same people that were protesting the Vietnam War. And they think that they're doing the same thing. They think that they have some sort of achievable goal. And yet when the man on the street interviewers go out and talk to them, they can't tell you what that goal is. I think that these people have been whipped into a frenzy by the medias, by the politicians, by the local government structures. They've been unleashed, if you will. Go ahead and go out there and protest and do whatever you want. And when someone suffers the consequences, they blame it on everybody else but them. And I was just wondering what your feelings on it were.
Okay, yeah, I think that the mainstream media are really behind this. They're the main ones to whip them up into a frenzy, a lot of the boomers. And there's also a financial element of this because a lot of them are getting paid, a lot of them are being organized. So if people are retired or they might want a little extra money and they feel like they actually are doing something, they'll go out there and do that. I've seen plenty of videos of people, a lot of the boomers, when they are doing something, you could tell they're getting paid for it. There's a sign that's beautifully crafted, well made. There was some money behind it. It's organized. And I showed a video earlier of them in the church practicing with people who have some kind of shirts on that appear to be mass printed, part of a company. There's a financial element. And then there's the personal element from people who were back during Vietnam protesting against that. If they're doing the same thing, so if there's money behind it, they're even more inclined to go out there and so-called protest.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that aspect. I was watching the program earlier, and I did see the schooling in the church. That completely melted my brain. I can't even believe those people are doing that kind of stuff. But you know, the country has taken a turn. You know, the country has taken a turn, and I don't know where in the world it's headed. Once they took prayer out of school because some atheist dad convinced his son that he didn't need to pray in school. Once they took the prayer out of school, it all started to go downhill from there. There's no longer any respect from anyone toward anyone else, and I don't know what it's going to end up being. Do you feel that there is a way to save this ship before it goes down?
I think some of us are going to go down with a ship, but I don't think the country is in the ship. Not all of us are in the ship. There's different ships. Their ship, those who want to be against what the people want, those who want to be for the illegal aliens and all the criminal stuff, they're going to have their own ship and they're going to sink. But those of us who are not on that same page are not going to be in their ship and we're not going to sink. That's my viewpoint on it.
Well, I'm glad to hear that there is some positivity out there, and I hope I'm on the same ship as you are.
Right on.
And you have a wonderful evening, and thank you for all that you do on your show.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bye-bye.